President Kamala Harris and President Biden are working to court Black, Latino, and other minority voters with just 18 days until Election Day. But Harris is slipping with young Black men in battleground states, according to a new Howard University poll. Black men under 50 years old, Harris performed the worst. She holds a 68% to 21% lead to Trump among the voting bloc. Politico, meanwhile, reporting that some Black voters in Georgia now see Trump as the real option, with one Black woman saying she supported Biden in 2020, did not like Trump then, but now she likes him. In Pennsylvania, Harris campaign staffers are warning it's a mess, with one campaign operative warning that the vice president and her allies are falling down on the job of reaching out to non-white voters.
Donald Trump is on pace to have the greatest showing among African-American male voters since Richard Nixon in 1960. That's nearly 70 years ago. If you look at how he's polling with Hispanic voters, he's on pace to do the best he's done, a Republican candidate, since 2004. You look at George Bush at that time. So collectively, he's reaching out to minority voters in a way that Republicans have not been able to do for decades. So for all the talk of the left and how he's not being able to connect with Black voters, a lot of that hogwash. He's on pace to do something historic, something we haven't seen in a long time, Maria.
President Barack Obama has found himself on the wrong side of American voters, particularly Black men. Last week, the 44th President of America gave a blistering performance in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Speaking in the swing state, Obama called on men and Black men to vote for Kamala Harris.
I'm sorry, gentlemen. I've noticed this especially with some men who seem to think Trump's behavior, the bullying and the putting people down, is a sign of strength. And I am here to tell you that is not what real strength is. Real strength is about working hard and carrying a heavy load without complaining. Real strength is about taking responsibility for your actions and telling the truth even when it's inconvenient. Real strength is about helping people who need it and standing up for those who can't always stand up for themselves. That is what we should want for our daughters and for our sons, and that is what I want to see in a president of the United States of America.
He urged them to embrace women in power and pick Kamala Harris as their next president.
I'm going to go ahead and just speak some truths, if you don't mind. Because my understanding, based on reports I'm getting from campaigns and communities, is that we have not yet seen the same kinds of energy and turnout in all quarters of our neighborhoods and communities as we saw when I was running. And you're coming up with all kinds of reasons and excuses. I've got a problem with that because part of it makes me think, and I'm speaking to men directly now, part of it makes me think that, well, you just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president. and you're coming up with other alternatives and other reasons for that.
But the lecturing didn't stop there. As Barack Obama put on a stern fatherly act, he asked black men to learn from black women, whom the former president claims are against Donald Trump.
Because the women in our lives have been getting our backs this entire time. They've been raising us and working and having our backs. And when we get in trouble, and the system's not working for us, they're the ones who are out there marching and protesting. And so now you're thinking about sitting out or even supporting somebody who has a history of denigrating you? That's not acceptable. That's not, this shouldn't even be a question.
The reason why that you don't see the enthusiasm for her actually has nothing to do with her. I'm not going to blame her on that. You're like, oh, you're not blaming her? Not at all. You know who I'm blaming for that? The man speaking. Let's go back a little bit. The enthusiasm for you, sir, was you ran, you were articulate. Black folks say, wow, this is a very articulate man. He wants to be the president of the United States. Wow, look his wife, look his children. Wow, it would be great to have a black family in the White House. We thought we'd never see something like that. So we say, you know what, let's all come out and vote for the black man. This is before the time of delineation. Let's go out and vote for the black man and his family because we want to see a black family and a black man be president of the United States. So we all, including myself, we all voted based on skin color, not your policies. We all did it. We all went in our neighborhoods at that time and told people who never voted, hey man, get ready to vote. We got to put the first black president. Come on, man, we got to vote. We got to do that. And everybody got up and registered to vote. They never seen so many black people vote in the history of this country. Like black people voted in 2008, and black folks went out to vote in 2008 because you were perceived to be black. Okay? Fast forward to 2024. That's not going to work for Kamala Harris because we're not voting on color. Number two, we're paying attention to where you're from now. And where you're from has a lot to do with your mindset and the way you act toward black Americans. Understand? The voter apathy that's out there, that's your fault. That's not even her fault. That's your fault. Because you had 8 years in the White House and you did nothing for black Americans, sir. You did nothing. Every time I look up, you was talking about the LGBT. You were talking about the LGBT so much, I thought you was LGBT myself. I've never seen a straight man advocate for LGBT like that in my life.
Who's in town for the night, and it sounds like you're looking to party.
Yeah, pulled up in a bar outside, and there's this guy that's introduced to me as Barack Obama. I had given Barack $250 to pay for coke. I start putting a line on a CD tray to snort, and next thing I know, he's got a little pipe and he's smoking. So I just started rubbing my hand along his thigh to see where it was going, and it went the direction I had intended it to go.
Even though you had sex with him twice, you did cocaine with him, watched him him smoke crack twice. You had no idea who he was.
I had no idea who he was.
Let me just ask the obvious question. What was Obama like on crack? Is it your sense that that's who Obama is, just transactional, or that he's bisexual, or like, what is this?
It definitely wasn't Barack's first time, and I would almost be willing to bet you it wasn't his last.
The guy's running for president, and credible information comes out that he's smoking crack and having sex with dudes. That seems like a story.
Well, it would be a story if the media really cared about telling people the truth.